I had some positive vibes when I was clicking that submit button, but this score was completely unexpected. I was expecting somewhere in the 500 zone, 550, somewhere like that. I was expecting that, but 651, when I actually got the detailed result, we get it after 10 days, right? So that was like, a superb thing that has happened. So that score wasn't expected really, because I wasn't able to make out, because we don't know how the scale score things works, right? So we really don't know which question has higher weightage, which question has lower weightage. So we treat all the questions to be the same. So,
Yeah.
and we give them all like equal treatment, saying that we don't know what will happen. So the scale score was never in my mind, but
Hello everyone, welcome to CISA-This-Much. This is Aditya, and today we have with us Deepthi, who has recently qualified her CISA. So, Deepthi, first of all, heartiest congratulations for passing the exam. And before asking you lots of questions, like how does it feel clearing this exam in first attempt?
it's like a great relief for me. So I have studied a lot of hours, and finally, when you clear it in the first attempt, the happiness is way different.
Yeah. So, Deepthi, can you please introduce yourself, your academic background, and what made you choose this certification?
Yeah, so I'm a chartered accountant by profession. So I have finished it. It's been like more than 5 years since I finished my CA. And why I chose CISA is because like it is related to my employment actually. So the work stream that I do and all of that is related to information systems audit, and we do and a couple of years I have done day in day out what was explained in this exam and all of that. So that's what brought in the interest, and that's how I started taking CISA seriously.
Okay. So you are already having experience here, right? Okay.
Yes.
I want to add one question here. So, like, do you feel someone to pursue CISA, they should be having prior experience, or is it okay if they first clear the certification and then think about entering in this area? I'm talking even for people who are qualified CAs, since you are already having experience before, and while gaining the experience you thought, okay, now I'm feeling interested in this field and let me pursue some more higher qualifications in this particular area. So do you feel that approach is right? Or because nowadays, especially, I see lots of fresher CAs without any experience, and they want to enter here and they get job also, like after clearing this exam they get opportunities also even without experience. So, like, what do you feel like, which way they should go for?
So, both ways is fine if they are able to understand what's written actually in that CISA manual. But the advantage of, having prior experience in employment and then coming to writing the certification is because you can easily correlate with a lot of things when you actually start reading the CRM, or when actually listen to your lectures also. It's way easy for domain 1, domain 2, like whatever. It's very easy because you've already seen how the actual organizations work outside, and it's easy for examples to come into your head and actually apply, because CISA is not just about mugging up things and just writing and all of that. So you need some background. You need to analyze certain things when it comes to some questions and all of that. So I feel this is more helpful. It's not like this is better or something. It depends on a person to person how they take the examination to be. But from a conceptual understanding point of view, having prior experience in employment or elsewhere is more beneficial when it comes to taking this certification. And I think even the CISA also says that you need to have certain number of years of experience before they apply for the certification. And also, I mean, that gives the answer that, they need to have certain understanding before they are actually
Correct.
certified.
There is some advantage definitely for, like, if you have experience, there is definitely going to be some additional advantage, in terms of not only understanding but also clearing this exam. Yeah, because previously CAs, they used to go either in finance or taxation or accountancy, but this field is I can say kind of booming in the market as of now. And
Yeah, it's
many,
evolving now.
yeah, and many CAs, they are looking for this area to get into because of less competition. I don't know whether I should say that less competition, because even competition is increasing here. What's your opinion on that?
Competition is there now. We are competing with other streams also, not just CS.
Yeah.
So but yeah, but this field is like evolving, like I said. So we have a lot of opportunities that will be coming in the near future, because finance and taxation, accounting, that are all important as we go, but this is what is like turning new day by day. We have a lot of things that are coming up newly. We have a lot of scope that we can include into our resume, into our employment, and all of that. So this and that's one of the reason I chose this as my career path as well, because I had the option of going into the regular audits and all of that, but this what interested me, and thanks to my colleagues also that who have given me training and all. So yeah.
Okay. So my next question to you is, how much time did it take for you to like from the start till qualifying the exam, and what would be your advice to people, like what should be the ideal, because see, this exam, there is no minimum requirement as such, you can give the exam even within 1 month also. And ideally they recommend some duration, like ISACA says around 4 to 6 months is ideal duration for clearing this exam. But then some people, sometimes I get these kind of inquiries also, that they have some deadlines from the employer. Their employer is reimbursing the fees, and because of which they have some strict deadlines. They want to clear the exam within next 1.5, 2 months, maybe to get some promotion or something. So what do you think? Like how much time did you take, and what would be your piece of advice to people who are planning to do this exam?
So my case is different because I have studied somewhere around 2 months to 2.5 months. That too full time. At least the
Okay.
last month, the last 1 month, because I have given my exam end of July. So the whole of July, I have completely dedicated myself to this exam only. Because I had a hard stop that I had to give my exam before August. So it's not related to employment, like you said, but it's something else. So that's the reason I decided to give my exam by end of the month of July, and I have started preparing somewhere in the month of May. I have started collating the resources and inquiring into the market, like what all are available, and selecting which all I should be sticking to, and all of that. And but June and July were the 2 months that I had strictly focused on, studying, completely revising, giving mocks, everything. So that's like fully dedicated timeline. I think 2 months, that too with prior experience, I think you can get satisfying score, a good score, and all of that. But that's okay. I think it might vary. For 3 to 4 months is what my colleagues averagely take. So I think that should be a good 3 to 4 months should be a good amount of time. I think one should at least put in.
Okay, so you are on leave from office for those 2 months, or like since you are saying you are studying for the full time. So
Yes. Luckily, I've got some time off in the month of July because I had other plans. So I'm actually planning to move abroad. So that's the reason I had
okay,
off from my organization.
okay,
So yeah,
yeah,
I had time.
okay. So guys, I would like to add something here. So since she's saying she was studying for the full time, so when I say 4 to 6 months of ideal duration, we assume that person is going to the office, and like, because not everyone gets the leave. Okay. And like we assume that that person will study for like 2 to 4 hours on the weekdays, and on weekends maybe like 6 to 8 hours. But since she was studying for the entire day, don't just go with the months, because she was studying almost the entire day. I can say at least like 10 to 12 hours, if I'm not wrong. Like at least for the month of July, you were putting those
For the
many
month
hours,
of July, I was, yeah, 10
10
to
to
12
12
hours
hours.
was.
Yeah, yeah. So you are studying for that. So yeah. So so In fact, we have a video also for this same question, like what should be the duration, ideal duration, and how many hours is required. Okay. All right. So
I was
my
more or less studying like a student, like a proper student, not as a, like I was not managing my job along with the, studying the course and all of that. But I was more or less studying like a student, full time student, that I had to clear this exam at any cost, was my mindset.
yeah, yeah, because normally I also ask people, like how you used to manage your job along with the study, and this is something a very popular question, because most of the people, they find it difficult, to manage both the things, studies as well as the job. And but yeah, so in your case, at least you were having some additional leave from the
Yeah.
employer, and this was something advantageous for you also, so that you could study the entire day, and you could get that flow, because flow is also very important. And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, and yeah, please go ahead. If you want to add something, you can just add. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had tried the other way, because when I was doing my job on a regular basis, and I tried studying CISA like in the earlier months, like almost 6 months before. I tried doing that, but at the end of the day, I couldn't remember anything by the time I came to the weekend to revise the whole of the thing. But this time, like I didn't give an attempt that time, but I just started studying some things. Like I just started with domain one, domain two, but even though they were familiar, I couldn't get that amount of confidence that I got when I was like doing it continuously. So I think, at revising every day and at least putting some 1 2 hours every day is beneficial for us to, retain that knowledge within our head, and, collate ourselves by the end of the weekend, or whenever we are writing mocks.
Do you think like it's important to revise, or because like if we talk about going through the questions or going through the lectures or whatever it is, whether it's official question answers or whatever, like like even if I solve all the questions, how much will I be able to remember? Like, so, like, will the revision help, like did it help you for getting more confidence, or like what exactly was your strategy like in the end?
So, of course, I can't stress enough on how much important is revision is for especially writing this exam, because it seems all simple when you explain, especially when we go through our videos, your videos for the first time. It's all very simple, but at the end of the day, when we look at the questions, it becomes a little more difficult. That we understand the concept, but how the question is twisted is all that matters, and how we select the option. So that's where revision plays a really important role, actually. So revision, I have done revision of the QAE, I have done revision of your videos, of the lectures and all of that. I think a couple more than 2 times, no, 2 times. So revision is very, very important when it comes to giving your exam. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. And like, what should be the ideal strategy? Like, should the student focus only on the concepts, or only on solving lots of question answers? Because when it comes to solving question answers, there are thousands of question answers, not only like official question answers, but also like over the internet you will find thousands of questions on this exam. So like, uh, like we should only focus on the question answers, or on the only on the concepts, or it should be mix blend of both.
It's blend of both, definitely. Because first we have to understand the concept, because the question can be tweaked in any which ways. Because the concept, it can be revolved around the same concept, but given a different set of options, or given a change in the question, or a word change in the question, can make all the difference, as we have seen. So the amount of concept we get into our head, at least the fundamentals should be clear in our mind, at least, because there will be some vague questions also, but at least if you can get hold of certain keywords within that question, you can at least try to frame up, okay, this is what is he referring to, so this might be the answer. At least we can shortlist to two options given out of the given four options. That's what we have done during us solving during the videos as well. That's what we have trained also. So that's very important to understand the concept. The fundamentals need to be very clear, and solving the QAE gives a amount of confidence, the mocks or QAE or anything. But that also needs to be revised at the end of the day. It's not like how many questions you have done. It's about like the variety of questions as well as the amount of revision that goes into, because you have to retain that in your head when the type of question that comes, so that you can identify the difference between what the question you attempted earlier and what was the question that has actually come in the exam, because it might relate to the same concept, but it might be a little different as well. So
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree with your answers. In fact, as she mentioned about there could be some vague questions also in the exam, and this is what even I have told. Like at least like out of 150 questions, 10 to 15 questions would be out of box, and would be some vague questions, and there would be some questions which would be very easy ones. I normally I say around 50% of the questions, in the exam would be of easy level, but then around 30 to 40% would be of medium level questions. And this is where you need to apply your mind, for some questions you will find okay, this is something which I have looked before, like I have studied in the QAE, or in other maybe in my videos or whatever. But then there would be some questions, and there your concepts will help you, to answer those questions. So thanks for that detailed answer. So, Deepthi, my next question to you is: you have scored 651, guys. So let me tell everyone that scoring first of all above 600 is very difficult, because we are not talking about raw score here. People don't understand about the difference between raw and scaled score. And I have made a video also for that on the YouTube. Like there's a difference between raw and scaled score. Like if I attempt 90 questions or 100 questions right out of 150, my raw score could be is 100, but my scaled score depends upon what was the score in that particular set across the globe, maybe like for that particular week or a month. So if that particular set was easy, so my scores, even if I get high raw score, my scaled score would be reduced. Vice versa, if that particular set was very difficult for across the globe for everyone, in that case, my even if I score maybe like not a high raw score, but still I would get a high scaled score, because that particular set was difficult for everyone across the globe. So scaled score getting above 600 is very difficult to achieve. Trust me on this, because I am teaching since almost 3 years, and I know like how difficult it is to cross that 600 mark. She has crossed 650 mark, so she has got 651, and is very, like something which is not that easy to achieve, and something which is really great. So, like you were expecting this score, or like what was it like? Because 651, trust me,
Oh.
I know I take lots of interviews and everything. Like many people say, oh, I was expecting 700 plus, I was expecting a lot more, but I couldn't score that much, and you scored 651, and I think as far as what I know, this is one of the highest scorers of our students also. So and maybe you could be your rank holder in your local chapter, whichever chapter you have registered for. You could be rank holder for sure, because 651 I know. In fact, like we had lots of students even with 620, 610 also, they have got this rank holders, this thing, trophy, and certificate from their local chapter. So maybe you could be invited for that very soon. We hope for that. And so you were expecting about this score, or do you want to add something here? Like, do you want to share your experience?
No, no, I wasn't expecting this score, because when I was writing the exam, like when you actually finally click the submit button, you get that feeling, right? Okay, this is okay. I mean, I'll pass. That kind of feeling was there, because I had some positive vibes when I was clicking that submit button, but this score was completely unexpected. I was expecting somewhere in the 500 zone, 550, somewhere like that. I was expecting that, but 651, when I actually got the detailed result, we get it after 10 days, right? So that was like, oh, that was like superb thing that has happened. So that score wasn't expected really, because I wasn't able to make out, because we don't know how the scaled score things works, right? So we really don't know which question has higher weightage, which question has lower weightage. So we treat all the questions to be the same. So,
Yeah.
and we give them all like equal treatment, saying that we don't know what will happen. So the scale score was never in my mind, but yeah, I was having this positive thing that I will have a positive, thought in my head when I was clicking the submit button, that okay, I'll get a positive result. I passed immediately, and I was happy with that. The scale score was something, and a cherry to the achievement actually.
And her domain wise scores also, I'm seeing I'm looking at her mark sheet. So, all the four domains, like one, 2, 4, and 5, she has scored 643, and domain 3, it's 721. So basically, in all domains, her scores are really brilliant scores, So kudos for that, and congratulations once again, for getting that such a high score. And I feel that very soon maybe you may get a mail from your local chapter for the rank in your chapter. All right. So, any last tips you would like to give to the future CISA aspirants who are currently pursuing, who are currently maybe confused, like how you were, while while going through? Because I know that how much ever you study, these kind of certifications. What happens is that no matter how much ever you study, no matter how much ever you understand, everything, still you feel. You don't feel that much confidence. You always have this kind of thought, and especially since the exam fees is such a high amount, for Indians, not only Indians, I would say across the globe. So these kind of thoughts comes in the mind that what if I not clear the exam? What if something wrong happens? So any piece of advice you would like to give to all the people who are watching this video?
Piece of advice means, I think revision is what you have to do. Get clear with your concepts, revise, and just give the exam. That's all. Because I know, until and unless we give the exam, we ourselves attempt the exam, we will not know how we perform. So there's no point worrying about it. I know there are a lot of ifs and buts that will happen in our mind before we go exactly on that day and we schedule our exam and give it. But I think as long as you are confident about your fundamentals, as long as you have revised your mocks and what all the coaching material, whatever you have done with it, I think that should be good, and you can give the exam with that. And I think from next year the syllabus is also changing, so not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right then. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, and I'm sure that your interview is definitely going to guide lots of people, and yeah, it will definitely be of help. It will be of help for so many CISA aspirants. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. And
Thank you, sir.
congratulations once again. All right.
Yeah.